Okay, today we are going to talk about subject pronouns. Now, easy topic. And yes, we have them in every language. Okay, for example, in English, we have I, you, he, she, it when it's singular, and we, you, they when it's plural. And yes, these subject pronouns we use to indicate who does the action. But what's the problem with Dutch? We have more. Even in Spanish, for example, you have subject pronouns which are yo, tú, usted, so a formal you, él, ella. All right, we don't have it. Okay, and then we have plural, nosotros, nosotras, where we make a difference between male and female. And we have vosotros, vosotras, ustedes, ellos, ellas, all those. Now, Dutch is kind of similar to English and to Spanish. And yes, indeed, in a way also to German, where we have you as in du, and the formal one, sie, more like Spanish. Now, let's take a look. So in Dutch, we have ik, as in I, yo. All right. Then we have je, jij, as in you, tú, in Spanish. And then we have u, which is a formal form of you. So in English, that doesn't exist. In Spanish, that would be usted, and in German, sie. And then we have hij, he, or él, and then ze, zij. Both are she, or in Spanish, ella. All right? Yes. Then we have had. I know, yes, it's a pronoun as well as an article. But we talk about that later. And then in plural, again, we have the, wij. While in English, we only have we. Okay? In Spanish, nosotros, nosotras, male, female. All right? In Dutch, we don't do that. And then we have jullie. In English, that will be you. And in Spanish, that will be vosotros. Or ustedes, if you want. And then we have ze, zij. Yes, again, ze, zij, but this time as they. Yes, in English, they. In Spanish, ellos, ellas. So, as you can see, many pronouns. Okay, now the use of them is exactly the same as in English or in Spanish. But have you noticed that I mentioned indeed je, jij, and u? U being formal, je, jij being informal. Just like in Spanish, just like in German. Yeah, but when you only know English, that is a problem, because in English we don't have it. And then the other difference. Je, jij, ze, zij, we, wij. Why do we have two of these pronouns? That's the question, and that is what I want to talk about. Okay, now let's start with just je and jij. Let's use this sentence. Je werkt vandaag. And jij werkt vandaag. Did you notice any difference between them? Yes, there is a slight difference. Grammatically, they are translated into English as in you work today. Or in Spanish, tú trabajas hoy. Exactly. There is no difference between the two sentences. But in Dutch, there is a difference. Listen carefully again. Je werkt vandaag. Jij werkt vandaag. Indeed, in the first one, the emphasis lies on the verb, on the action. While in the second sentence, sentence, we put the emphasis on the subject, on who does the action. In English, we would say, you work today. Je werkt vandaag. You work today. Jij werkt vandaag. Notice the difference? Now, the same happens with ze, zij. Ze werkt vandaag. Zij werkt vandaag. First one, emphasis on the action. Second one, emphasis on the subject. And yes, ze, zij is she, but it's also plural. You already know what to do. Ze, zij werken vandaag. So indeed, we put the verb in infinitive when it's plural. Now, be careful with je and jij. I encourage you not to use jij too often. Why? Well, as you've noticed, it's kind of like finger pointing. Jij werkt vandaag. That can seem quite aggressive. So try to avoid it. It's better to say, je werkt vandaag. Put the emphasis on the verb. One more thing, and that is specifically for simple present tense. Now, those of you that have already practiced simple present tense, you might know this already, and it's just a reminder. If you haven't practiced it, pay attention. All right? So, je or jij are an exception in simple present tense whenever we put it after the verb. That means in inversion. How does it work? For example, a question. Werk je vandaag? Notice I did not add T, like I do when it is u. Werkt u vandaag? Notice with the u, the formal u, I do add the T. With the je and the jij, no T added. So the rule is very simple. In simple present tense, whenever I have je or jij after the verb, no T added. Got it? All right, perfect. Now practice. And oh yeah, don't forget, like and subscribe.